the inside comes John Reynolds to take the place from Michael Rutter. That is the third place from Michael Rutter, and runs right on wide into the dirt. Oh, that would annoy you, believe me. He grabs the clutch just in time to keep the bike running. I think he was lucky there. Michael Rutter then, third place for him still. He can consider himself lucky there, I feel. So plenty of space in front of him and plenty of space behind him. Michael Rutter then all out on his own now. John Reynolds, well, he's actually circulating quite well, John Reynolds, so I think he's got some damage to one side of the bike, but we'll have to wait and see whether he stays out there. Meanwhile, Rutter's not worried about him. Gordon Blackley goes through the privateer, bike 36.
And he's running in the top 15 in the championship.
And that's overall, not in the privateers.
Overall, I meant,
right there,
yes.
In the privateers. Duffer Stip again. Michael Rutter, we're keeping an eye on the level 3 Yamaha.
He just looks so smooth, doesn't he? Given the conditions, amazingly smooth. Closes right up on the privateer at the apex of the corner. She's a Works Yamaha, don't forget that Rutter is on the level 3. Here's the leader.
This is the Works Suzuki. It's the National Tyre Suzuki of, well, Chris, the Rain Man Walker, because he has made this track look easy. Oh, in these conditions. Look at that. He puts the front down hard, just has the front brake on all the way, and the back just drifts around on him. He really is a hooligan. He's got a perfect feel for this motorcycle in these conditions. There is Paul Denning, leader of the team.
Looking inscrutable, I think.
Or something like that.
That's
yes.
the word, the only word I can use at the moment, inscrutable, Keith.
It's the only one you can broadcast.
Yeah,
Walker
that's what I meant.
3.1 seconds. James Hayden doing a great job of hanging right in there, but waiting for the third man to cross the line at the moment. Rutter 16 seconds behind Walker, and he's a long way in front of the fourth place man, who's still Paul Young. But Chris Walker has annihilated, well, all the opposition except, I would hazard a guess, to James Hayden. Hayden, that's a good distance, 3.1 seconds, still too much for him to pick up.
In the last third of the race, Keith?
Indeed. I don't think so, unless Walker has a problem, unless Walker's tyres go off or something along those lines, or of course if Chris Walker goes off. Always possible.
He's not given to that nowadays, so he looks like he's going to a lot of the time, but he doesn't very often.
Yeah, reminiscent of Wayne Gardner, if we go back to hooligans on motorcycles that look like they're going to crash through the fence at any given time, and look where he went on the go.
Absolutely.
World 500cc champion.
Now there's Hayden, that's the gap.
I'll tell you what, there's still not a big gap. James Hayden still applying pressure to Chris Walker and riding brilliant, considering he's got a neck injury. I mean, he pulled out of the World Championship round at Brands Hatch, was bitterly disappointed about that. He really wanted to ride in front of his home crowd at Brands, and now look at him, he's doing brilliantly. In fact, I've never seen him ride any better than this.
Well, I think this season he's ridden as well as he's ever done, Keith. He's not had the number of wins that
and bearing in mind that he's jumped on a twin-cylinder motorcycle. A lot of people make the analogy with Neil Mackenzie, who's jumped on a twin-cylinder bike as well, but so's this man. He's jumped off a four-cylinder bike straight on here.
And Hayden has done better than Mackenzie.
Yes, which I think is a great indication of the youngster. So
he's still a young man, exactly.
26 years old. Even the man in front of him's a bit older.
Oh, let's not get into the tacky subject of Chris Walker's birth certificate. Many have searched for it in the records office, none have found it.
I thought you had an exclusive there. You're about to reveal on air, Julian.
No, I've got
birth certificates.
I've got a notebook from several years ago when he first appeared on a 250 and I interviewed him, and I've got his age then. I shall keep it a state secret because I want to live.
Who cares what age he is? Oh, flames billowing out the back of that Suzuki. That's a characteristic of the Suzuki. Oh, go on, Chris. He's out on the damp patch now. Oh, dear me, you don't want to be out there. So Chris Walker then. Oh,
you don't want to be here either.
Oh, look at Reynolds. Reynolds has actually made it up on Hudson. Reynolds has made it up on Hudson. We've got a few privateers in there as well. Carl Rennie's there. Oh. And he's up to 7th place. He's pinched 7th place off of Neil Hodgson after picking it up out the dirt.
Amazing, and he's carrying a load of mud on the right-hand side of his leathers and bike as well. Here he goes. That's Carl Rennie, the privateer, I think number 12.
Yeah, 69, Steve Marks, skid to his mates.
A fan of James Whittam's, obviously.
So, down through Duffer's Dip, John Reynolds really, well, angry. Got him angry, didn't it?
I was going to say, he's such a nice man, isn't he, till you put him on a racing motorcycle. He'll hate me for mis-IDing him early on as well.
He's not after Michael Rutter by any chance, is he? We got a glimpse there of the Kawasaki man, Steve Plater. There he is, 22. So Steve Plater is the next in John Reynolds' sights. Tell you what, he's come to 7th place now. Steve Plater 6th in 6th. That will be a remarkable recovery for John Reynolds in these conditions.
And useful points in the championship, because let's not forget, John is in close contest with the top two.
But I mean,
in the championship.
He is indeed, but that man, Neil Hodgson, is losing it all at the moment, because 25 points go to this man, Chris Walker, if he manages to keep it there. We're on lap 20. Well, and you've got to say, Walker
closing the gap at the top of the championship as well as winning the race.
Big time. with Reynolds and Hodgson so far down the field.
Yeah, we have...
Chris Walker is really doing all he can do to close right up on them.
Yes, with Hayden in second place, he's not really a championship contender, James. I think I can say that without offending him too badly.
You will offend him, of course you will offend him.
Oh, yes, it's life's like that. But it's the two level 3 Yamahas that are packing in there in 3rd and 4th places that are really making the points difference between this man and the... I'm looking for the name of Neil Hodgson, of course, is 2 places further down. That's what's really helping the Stalkers case.
I can't believe that Neil Hodgson is so many seconds, something like 40-odd seconds. Oh, Hayden is out! Well, maybe your missed commentary a little bit earlier on, Julian, was prophetic, because James Hayden now goes out. I think that's around at the hair... No, that's not the hairpin. I think that must be...
It's not been off it, though.
That's the chicane. He's off at the chicane, I think, there. Oh, I tell you what. Well...
Did you see? I didn't see mud on the leathers. Is it a machinery failure?
It looks to me like it's been on the floor, crying in the rain then, James Hayden. We're back with Chris Walker. Well, that bumps them all up a place behind him. Walker will have been more happy to have Hayden in there.
Absolutely.
So that's the level 3 boys,
Hey.
2nd and 3rd at the moment. So Michael Rudder and Paul Young, 2nd and 3rd on the level 3 Yamahas. Ray Stringer. Well, Ray Stringer will be so happy. Here's Reynolds in front of Plater now. Reynolds has gone in front of Plater. That's 5th place then for Reynolds. He's made it up to 5th place.
That's right, Hayden's gone. That's right.
Well, that's superb stuff. I'd like to see Steve Plater do good, but John Reynolds, having picked it up out the sandpit of the hairpin, remarkable, absolutely remarkable. John Reynolds, when he's angry...
Mackenzie is the man in front of him, but I don't think even John Reynolds with the red mist down can reel in Mackenzie.
I'll tell you what, anybody other than John Reynolds would have lost their cool after sliding into the dirt. There it is, Walker, Rutter, Young, they're the top 3 podium men. 31 seconds behind the leader is Mackenzie, Reynolds and then Plater.
Tell you what, Keith, 4th place for Neil Mackenzie after the start he had, where he was at turn 1.
I'm sure he'll be philosophical about it, but he'll still be bitterly disappointed that he mucked that start up.
I think that's exactly right.
He got off a pole position. I mean, Neil Hodgson said that inside into Duffus was the best place to be, and of course Hodgson was, but they couldn't convert it. We're looking at Michael Rudder now, 31, he'll get 20 points, so 31 is Michael Rudder, the level 3 Yamaha. Well, they've seen some team changes there. That team has struggled all year long. They had Anthony Bass, one of the chief technicians originally. He left after falling out, well, not very much, but with Ray Stringer they had a difference of opinion. Anthony Bass, ex-Foggy mechanic, left the team, left them in a bit of disarray as well. They had to get it all back together again with 1 man down. Now they've got 2 men, this man included Paul Young, on the podium at this late stage of the race, providing you don't chuck it away, Paul.
Yes, indeed. Dear me,
well, that really is...
First rostrum for Paul Young, of course, at this level.
Well, it's justice for Ray Stringer as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we like Raymond. We take the mickey, but we like Raymond. He's...
Who don't we take the mickey out, Julian?
A very good point.
On the start and finish straight there, we're looking at Paul Young trying to get on touch with Dean Ellison there, the leading... He's leading this privateer's charge. Dean Ellison on an SP1 Honda.
That's a result and a half. He's in front of Crockford and Blackley on the road.
Michael Rutter in 2nd place, and the circuit commentary, good old Fred Clark giving it plenty, and well you might, because it's been a long time since we've seen this Midlands man do this well.
Maybe it just takes the wet to bring the best out of him, Keith.
Indeed. So then, Michael Rudder in 2nd place, just finding that slightly dry line. It's only about a foot wide. You don't want to get off it.
Having said that, I wouldn't have thought that Yamaha is the easiest bike in the world to ride in the wet.
Seems to be working all right for Michael Rutter and Paul Young, so I would say if you've got 2 bikes going that good...
hats off to Mr. Stringer, do we say?
Not a coincidence. Oh, Neil Mackenzie! What are you up to, Neil? Well, dear me.
Neil, settle for 4th, mate.
Not a chance in front of a home crowd, that's for sure. Neil Mackenzie then trying as hard as he can. He can see Paul Young in front of him there.
That explains it.
Mackenzie's going for a podium if he can get it. Youngie sits on the lower step of the podium. Well, he will do it.
You're right. He is on the case still in front of the home crowd.
Oh.
A great fight back from that bad start, but he's starting from pole. He knows he should be on the rostrum.
Yeah, not long to go though in this race now. We're on lap 25. Remember, it's only 1.3 miles round here a lap. It's only something like 33 miles in an entire race distance here. Oh, he was right on the edge there of the damp patch. You don't want to be there. And that looks like John Crockford, who is catching up to now. One of the leading privateers. It is 56 John Crockford. So Crockford, he's in 2nd place. Stuff coming out of Crockford's bike. Has he been on the dirt somewhere? It looks like got something dropping off the motorcycle.
Been, Keith, that was countryside coming off that
we
bike.
saw Dean Ellison, who was the leading privateer. He was in front of Crockford. Crockford must be in something like 2nd place in the privateers battle.
That's exactly right.
Battling at the moment, though, is Neil Mackenzie to get past everybody, and in particular Paul Young, who sits in 3rd place. Now, if you wondered what happened to John Crockford, this was it. Chris Walker was upon him, sits up, but already John Crockford has slid